Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to teach you the 2 things that you need to be doing if your goal is fat loss. I'm also going to give you some tips and some things that you can start doing today to help you work towards your goal and get to your goal, your 2019 weight loss goal, fat loss goal, whatever your goals are. I'm going to help you get to those and get started on that today. So let's get into it. So the very first thing that you need to be focusing on if your goal is weight loss or fat loss is being in a caloric deficit. Now what this means, what a caloric deficit means, is that you are burning more calories than what you are taking in. So this is essentially diet and exercise. So diet would be the calories in part and exercise would be the calories out part. So you need to be consuming less calories than what you are burning throughout the day. Now, with that being said, exercise is actually a very small portion of the calories that you burn throughout the day. You could be burning 200 to 500 calories in a workout, but throughout the day, your body burns, depending on what your weight is, what your muscle mass is, what your age is, it can kind of vary, but your body burns around like 15 to 1800 calories just living. So that's not including walking around, working out, any of that stuff, just keeping you alive. Your body burns a good amount of calories. But when we add in exercise, that's just adding to those calories. Now, when we add in like things like resistance training, that's also going to help us, grow our muscles, which is going to benefit us in the long run, not only with fat loss, but with, muscle gaining and leaning out in the end. A lot of things come into play when it comes to, how many calories you are burning throughout the day. Your body burns calories when you digest food, when you breathe, when you pump blood, when you blink. Everything that your body does requires calories. Now, calories are essentially just energy. Calorie is a measurement of energy. Now, our bodies are an open thermodynamic system. So what this means is we cannot create or destroy energy, we can only convert it. So calories are literally just a measure of energy. There's energy in our food, we consume our food, and it gets converted into the energy that we need to live, to exercise, to breathe, for women to menstruate, to ovulate, to pump our blood, to blink, to do these arm movements that I'm doing right now. Everything requires energy, and that energy comes from the food that we consume. So if we want to be in a caloric deficit, we need to be consuming less calories than what we are burning. Now, what this does is it makes our bodies use the stored energy throughout our bodies to do the work that we need to do, to perform the tasks that it needs to perform. So stored energy in our body is fat. That is what fat is. Fat is stored energy. It's stored calories. That's how our body stores extra energy. It stores it as fat. So if our body isn't getting the amount of energy, the amount of calories that it needs to do what it needs to do, it's going to start burning and utilizing the excess energy that we have on our bodies to do what it needs to do. Now, with that being said, this can sometimes be taken to extremes, and that is not healthy. So this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be giving your body enough calories to function, because what that does, our bodies are extremely smart, and when we don't give our bodies enough calories to do, the basic things that it needs to do, it's going to start down-regulating systems in our bodies to help conserve energy so it's able to do those things. Now, that's why sometimes women who, strictly diet and don't give their bodies enough calories, or women that have eating disorders or like are elite athletes and they burn a ton of calories and their bodies don't have a sufficient amount of calories. That's why sometimes those women will lose their menstrual cycle. That's one of the first things to go when we start depriving our bodies of the calories that it needs. Another thing that can be harmed by it is our thyroid. Our thyroid will start to downregulate and it will start to slow down. So our bodies are so smart, and when we don't give it enough calories, it'll start downregulating the systems in the body, and we don't want that. So to prevent that from happening, you don't want to drop below your BMR, which stands for your basal metabolic rate. And this is the amount of calories that your body requires just to live, if you were to lay in bed all day and do nothing but breathe and blink, then that's how many calories your BMR would be. So we don't want to drop below that amount of calories. So we want to stay in a deficit, but above our BMR. Now that is number one. Being in a caloric deficit, consuming less calories than you burn, is the number one thing you want to do if your goal is weight loss. Now, if you say your goal is weight loss, I'm going to assume that you mean that your goal is fat loss. I hope that that's what you mean when you say that your goal is weight loss. You mean you want to lose fat. Now, there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times that you can't trust the number on the scale, and that is because your weight is not just a measurement of how much fat you have. Your weight is a total amount of everything that your body is. It's the food in your stomach, it's the hair on your head, it's your fat, it's your bones, it's your muscles, it's your organs, it's your everything. So if you say your goal is weight loss, then that could mean that you just want the number on the scale to drop, but maybe you're losing fat and you're losing muscle, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to be losing muscle, or you don't want to lose too much muscle. You want to try to maintain as much muscle as possible. So that brings me into the second thing that you need to be doing if your goal is weight loss or fat loss. You need to be consuming enough protein. So yes, you actually need to probably eat more than what you were before. A lot of people don't consume enough protein in their normal everyday diets. The recommended amount of protein that you should be consuming is around 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. Now, to find your lean body mass, you're going to take your total weight minus your fat mass. Now, another way that you can calculate how much protein you need is to go off of your goal body weight. Now, some people will say that the required amount of protein is 1 gram per pound body weight. But think of it this way. If you are somebody that is around, say you're very overweight, you are 300 pounds. You don't necessarily need 300 grams of protein. That would be a lot. So what you could do if you are, overweight and you're trying to lose fat is to go off of your goal weight. So if you are 300 pounds and your goal is to get to 180 pounds, then you could set your protein at 180 grams of protein. If you don't want to go through and try to figure out how much body fat you have and you don't want to have to subtract that from your weight, you could go off of your goal weight. So this is how much protein that you should be consuming every single day. And that's not just because you are dieting. This should be your goal every single day, no matter what, whether you are dieting or not dieting. This is the recommended amount of protein that everybody should be consuming. And that is because we want to be consuming enough protein to maintain the muscle that we already have and possibly build a little bit more muscle. So protein is what your body uses to build new muscle and to maintain the muscle that it has. Protein is actually the hardest macronutrient for your body to digest. So it takes longer for your body to digest it. So it's going to sit in your stomach for a little bit longer and it's going to keep you fuller longer. Now, like I had mentioned previously, your body burns calories when you consume food. So eating food, your body actually uses some of the calories from that food that you're eating to digest that food that you're eating and metabolize it and bring it throughout the body. So since protein is harder to digest, it's going to take more calories for your body to digest that protein. Now, nobody knows the exact percentage of this, but around 20 to 30% of the calories that you are consuming through protein are actually used to digest that protein. So that's a pretty big amount. So this actually leads me to my next point. Protein can help you increase your metabolism. So metabolism is the rate that your body burns calories. Now, if you are burning more calories while you're just digesting, you're not doing anything, you're just digesting food and you're burning more calories because you are consuming more protein, this is going to increase your BMR. It's going to increase your metabolism because you are burning more calories by consuming more protein. It'll also increase your metabolism because we are preserving muscle and building muscle with this increase of protein. So muscle actually burns more calories at rest than anything in your body. You burn more calories if you say you are a 150-pound person with a lot of muscle mass and you stand next to another 150-pound person with not a lot of muscle mass, that 150, and you guys do the same exact things, the person with the most muscle mass is going to burn more calories at rest than that person with not a lot of muscle mass. So this is why it's so important that you work towards preserving muscle and building muscle while you are trying to burn fat. And this will also make sure that you are burning fat and not burning fat and muscle while you are losing weight. So although your goal might not be to build muscle, or all you want to do is lose weight, you still really want to focus on maintaining that muscle, because that muscle is going to help you burn calories and lose weight. Now, when you maintain that muscle and you build a little extra muscle, this is also going to help you have that lean look when you do finally lose that weight and you lose the fat. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of the term skinny fat, and it's when somebody loses a ton of weight, or maybe they didn't lose a ton of weight, maybe they just aren't a big person, but they still have a lot of like flabbiness and you know what I mean. I'm sure you've heard of it before. But maintaining that muscle and building muscle while you are burning fat will help keep you from getting that skinny fat look, and it'll help you fill out and look a little bit more muscular, look a little bit more lean and toned when you do lose the fat. So to get protein into your diet, you have pretty much 5 options. So you have meat, fish, eggs, some dairy, and protein powders. Those are pretty much your only options when it comes to protein. And I recommend getting some sort of protein in every meal that you have throughout the day, because this will help you reach your protein goal by the end of the day. Instead of trying to cram in a ton of protein in one meal, if you spread it out throughout the day, it'll help you reach your protein goal by the end of the day. So if your goal is weight loss, or I should say fat loss, then you should be focusing on these 2 things: being in a caloric deficit and consuming enough protein. Don't try to overcomplicate things. I know there are so many different diets out there that are telling you you can't consume carbs, or you need to eat at certain times in the day, you need to fast from this time to this time, you need to do, I don't know, a cleanse, you need to drink a powder, whatever. You don't need to do any of that. That physiologically, this is what happens in your body. And if you want to lose fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit and you need to be consuming enough protein. And this will help you get to that weight loss goal, that fat loss goal. So don't overcomplicate things. Just keep them simple, especially if you are just starting out on your weight loss journey or your fat loss journey. Keep things as simple as possible. Get down to the basics and work on just making small adjustments in your routine. Don't focus too much on all those small details. Just focus on those 2 things that I mentioned, and you will absolutely see loads of progress. And you won't be so stressed out from feeling like you have to follow a ton of rules. You don't feel so restricted that you just want to give up. Just stick to the basics and keep it simple. And if you ever need help with any of this stuff, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Leave a comment down below. I'll leave my email in the description box, and you can email me at any time that you want. I'll also leave my Instagram handle down there, and you can send me a message on there. Whatever is easiest for you, reach out to me and I will absolutely help you. I can help you calculate your macros. I can help you figure out your protein goal. I can help you with anything that you need. So don't ever feel like you can't reach out. I am always here to help you guys. So let me know if you ever need any help with any of this. So if you like this video and you feel like you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that I put out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.